Hey everybody, welcome back to the Tipsy Ghosts. We're your tipsy hosts, Sarah and Lindsey.
Hey guys.
Hi.
Would you like to hear a fun fact?
I would love to.
Bet you didn't know this one.
Okay.
A crocodile cannot stick its tongue out. Did you know that?
I did not. I've never met with a crocodile and asked it to stick its tongue out.
Its tongue can't go out.
Maybe, yeah. Like they're okay.
They can't?
They cannot.
No, that's the whole point of the fun fact.
Fun fact, it cannot.
I don't know where the delayed reaction came from.
That's surprising.
I know. Also, did you know a shrimp's heart is in its head?
I didn't know they have hearts.
Where do they live? They have to have a heart
not
somehow.
Every creature has a heart, right?
Doesn't it? It's what pumps blood to the rest of the body.
Unless it's like an amoeba.
Hold, please.
Please hold.
Google.
Creatures without hearts.
All right. Jellyfish, flatworms, corals,
Oh.
polyps, sea anemones, sponges, sea cucumbers, and sea lilies.
Oh, SpongeBob didn't have a heart?
The jellyfish is the biggest animal without a heart.
Is
It is a
SpongeBob not just a
simple and
sponge?
primitive creature.
What is SpongeBob?
But I thought he had a heart.
A sponge.
That's what I thought. So no, why?
So basically, like sea creatures.
Yeah,
That's what I'm gathering here.
Fish are sea creatures.
and they have hearts.
Fish were not included on my list, were they?
But you made it sound like all sea creatures.
No, I'm saying like all of these animals are sea creatures. Cause and effect here.
But not all sea creatures don't have hearts.
Right.
I'm glad we figured that one out.
Just to clarify.
This has been an episode with the Tipsy Ghost.
This is our TED Talk.
Please
Fun fact.
check in next week for more fun facts.
I have one more.
Okay.
An ostrich's eye is bigger than its brain. Which I feel like
I can see that.
I have heard that they have very small brains.
They're not very smart.
Have you met one?
obviously. They're very fast though.
I've seen one.
Okay.
They're kind of mean as hell. I've seen them on TikTok.
I've heard they have very small brains, so that doesn't surprise me.
Have you seen the lady that just like has that mean ass
The
ostrich?
emu. It's an emu, isn't it?
Oh.
No.
Where she puts up her hand
Yes.
because he charges at
Her
her.
name's Karen.
Oh, I didn't know her name.
But wouldn't you like to ride on one?
No, they're
No.
too bony and weird.
Oh,
I'd
I would
crush
like
it.
to.
Oh, I would crush it immediately.
Hold on to their little wings.
I don't think they can fly.
My dad rode a camel.
No, but they still have wings. They're not functional, but
They
they're
have
still
wings.
They're like, well, I know they have wings.
I
I wasn't disputing that.
there. Thank you for the support.
They don't fly.
No, I know they don't fly.
That was what I said. You are saying the same thing I said.
Ostriches are dumb.
And they have wings.
but they don't fly.
And they don't fly.
Just like penguins.
Oh, I love penguins.
I do too.
And chickens, they don't really fly. They just kind of leap. Or if they were thrown into the air, they might flap to the ground.
It's the hand gestures
all.
for me. What story are you going to tell us?
All right. I'm going to tell you guys a little story about the night marchers of Hawaii.
Ooh, okay. Hawaii.
Night marchers.
Oh, I was just saying, I don't know if we've been to Hawaii.
We have not.
I haven't.
Of course, I thought we haven't been to several places, and we have. So I don't think we've been to Hawaii yet.
Okay.
In Hawaiian mythology, the night marchers are deadly ghosts of ancient Hawaiian warriors. They are the vanguard for a sacred king, chief, or chiefs. Their jobs in life were to walk with somebody who was so sacred that you weren't allowed to look at them as they passed. And if you did, the punishment is death.
So like a saint kind of thing?
Yeah, maybe like in their eyes it was...
Yeah.
But they're like,
It was a
don't look
god.
at me.
Yeah, you can worship me, but don't even look at me.
It's like where Christina Aguilera got Beautiful from.
I think that's what she was basing it off of.
Don't look at me.
Oh, okay.
Just that little tiny intro.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I could see it. All right, so if you looked at the sacred king, you were dead. All right.
Okay, gotcha.
Back
Hang
to
on.
that.
How did you know that he was the sacred king?
You just knew. You heard about it.
He
I think
probably
he was
was-
probably surrounded by people.
He's probably differentiated to the point that
He's
people knew
probably
who
like
he
in
was.
his own place, like a palace. I don't know what Hawaiian palaces look like, but they're probably beautiful. Okay.
They're in a volcano.
He was in a Hawaiian volcano palace, obviously.
Obviously.
And he was by himself. right?
Okay. It's lonely, but okay.
But you don't have to worry about people looking at you and dying.
Can he look at himself? Are there mirrors?
Doubt it.
Okay.
He too would die.
That makes sense.
So, but if you let's say your volcano was going to erupt and you had to change locations.
Yeah, it is.
I knew as soon as he said it that she was going to do something. Because he said your volcano.
Yeah.
My volcano
You got to get the
is
move on.
about to erupt.
You got to hustle.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Get it going. Okay, anyways, we got to move is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
And
Gotta get out.
they would give people like plenty of warning that they were coming.
Good.
Oh, so
If
you
they
know
were
to
going
divert your
outside,
eyes.
yes, to divert your eyes. They
Okay.
were playing drums, and you'd hear them coming from far away, and they would like blow into those conch shells, and I'm sure they'd make like that. So the night marchers, they appear during the last 4 moon phases of the Hawaiian lunar calendar, and they're said to rise from their burial sites or from the ocean, which, side note, that would be terrifying to see.
Sea zombies.
Pirates.
Ooh, sea pirate zombies.
Pirate sea zombies.
Right.
Ooh, we're
I don't
getting
think they
into
look
Pirates of the
anything like
Caribbean
that.
with the skeletons.
Yeah, but they were like, I'll tell you in a minute.
Okay.
And they would march in large groups to ancient Hawaiian battle sites or other sacred places.
Okay.
And there's a trail that they walk on that's remained the same throughout many, many years, even though like different buildings and shopping centers have gone up around it. There's
Sure.
still the Night Marchers Trail.
Okay.
So legend says that they're dressed for battle. They're carrying spears or clubs. Some of them are beating war drums.
What?
I'm just laughing at the beating. Okay.
I heard war chubs.
They're beating war drums.
Thank you. It sounded insensitive.
Chubs is so gross.
War chubs. Okay.
So, I can't even say that sentence again. Oh no.
It's going to be bad.
I just don't even want to say this one again. Okay, so some of them are beating war drums and
Wait, son. She did a really good job, okay?
blowing the conch shell
That's what needs to happen.
to announce their march.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
There, I did it.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta beat and blow.
Yeah. That's what you do.
Stop.
Announce you're coming.
It's like Paul Revere. You made that joke right when I was making a joke about a historical figure in history.
When the British were coming?
You made Paul Revere dirty.
I did. All right. Well, anyhow, so they're suspended in the air and their feet don't touch the water or the ground as
They're
they move.
suspended in the air?
Because
yeah,
they're
they're
zombies.
Zombies touch the ground.
Okay, but
So they're ghosts, right?
they're ghosts.
Yeah.
Spirit zombies.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I can deal with that.
All right. As you've already figured out, they march in the darkness
Yes.
and as a group and will walk continuously until sunrise. And they also have a foul or musky death-like odor.
Sure they do. They're dead.
You know, sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
And if they're
I get
coming
that.
from the sea,
That.
it's
Uh-huh.
probably not smelling the greatest. Okay. I gotcha.
However, some say that they might appear in the daytime to escort a dying relative to the spirit world.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I know.
This reminds me of, who was it that you did? The zombies.
Jiangxi.
Yes.
It reminds me of that, because weren't they escorting like dead people? Yeah.
Yeah. So ancient Hawaiian beliefs state that any mortal who looks upon the night marchers or is seen as being defiant towards them will die instantly and violently.
Okay.
And there's not a whole lot you can do to protect yourself against them. So, placing a physical barrier does no good. They're ghosts. They're just going to go through it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just block them off.
Sure.
You can just march right on through it. It's recommended that you lie on the ground, face down, and motionless.
Play dead.
Play dead.
That's what I do when I'm sad.
Yeah, you go to a window and hide.
No, that's when I'm mischievous
I couldn't tell if it was mischievous or sad.
and disappointed.
All the above.
We disappointed
All
her.
the bad emotions. That's what was happening. But in addition to that, you're supposed to take off your clothes.
Mm-hmm.
so that they think that you're crazy, and then they kind of feel bad for you and just skip over you.
Okay. They're like,
this one is nuts. Absolutely not.
I want nothing to do with this naked person.
Take off your clothes as they blow
Their conch shells.
Yeah.
and beat.
They're what shells?
Their conch shells and beat their drums.
Is it conch?
Conch.
No,
Isn't it conch?
no.
CONCH, right?
It's
Yeah.
spelled like that.
Yeah, but
How do you pronounce
the H
it?
is silent.
So conch?
Yeah.
Huh.
Another word.
This is another word that I pronounce as conch in my entire life.
This is a Tupperware moment.
Oh
Oh
my
my
Listen,
gosh.
This is, I read phonetically.
I know you do.
Conch.
I thought I caught that.
Listen.
I wish you could read it out loud to me. Like, just read me a book out loud.
You don't want me to. Especially if it's like a fantasy and it's all these
Oh,
made
my
up names
goodness.
Oh,
and made up
no.
cities. I'm just like, skipping over that one.
Well, okay. And if you want to go to the next level,
I do.
you do.
Hang on.
You've committed.
What was the first level?
The first level is that
What we
you
just talked about.
take off all your clothes.
Yes.
Okay. Step 1, take off your clothes.
Yeah. And lay naked. And they're going to be like, that person's crazy.
They're going to be like, we don't want
But-
anything to do with that.
You can take it to the next level and rub urine or feces all over yourself.
Absolutely not. Level
You've
1.
already committed.
Nope. I'm
You already said it.
I'm staying with level 1.
Listen, I'm not a fan of that kind of stuff.
Is it
Well,
because they're
Disgusted.
distracted by the smell?
No,
Okay.
they just are disgusted with you now.
Yeah,
and they're
I'm
like,
disgusted with myself.
Same.
Oh, okay. So if you do those things, as long as you show proper respect to them, you'll be spared.
I'm sorry. Peeing and pooping yourself is showing respect.
No, proper
yeah,
respect
kinda.
is not looking at them.
Yeah, don't look at
As
them.
you pee and poop yourself.
Take off your clothes, pee and poop yourself, rub it around,
Absolutely
and then just
not.
lay there like in a pose.
Oh, the sight they might see.
Absolutely not. No.
It will work though. You won't die.
I mean, I'm sure it will, but at what cost?
Your dignity.
Exactly.
Okay, if you're lucky enough, which I don't think any of us here would be lucky enough, but if you have an ancient ancestor who might be marching at that time and they happen to recognize you, you'll be lucky enough to avoid harm or death because they'll claim you
They'll
as they march
keep
by.
you safe. Okay. But that's a risk.
It is risk.
That's a big
You're not
risk.
sure if your ancestor's in there,
Sure.
but they will yell "Na'u" while walking.
What's that mean?
Mine. So now you're theirs.
Okay.
If you don't have an ancestor, you have to do those things that I mentioned, and you
Or
might
die.
be SOL. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how to pronounce this, but I'm going to guess. And if you hear them yell "Oaya," it's done for you. It means let him be pierced.
Ooh.
Like
that does not sound good.
piercings or with like
I don't know. They didn't
stick.
say. I'm guessing.
Didn't you say they had the
because they had clubs and spears and
yeah,
stuff.
You mentioned spears.
So some other things you can do to prevent these things from happening to you, you can plant shrubs near your home to prevent any evil spirit from entering. They typically like to enter houses that have doors, like front doors and back doors placed in a straight line. They like to just march right through them.
Okay. Even though they can go through walls.
I guess so, but they like to go through doors, open doors,
Okay, gotcha.
in a straight path.
in a straight path. They get confused if they
Mhm.
go in and there's like, some stairs. It's over.
There's furniture here. I don't know what to do.
That's, I think, what happens. And the way that the warriors march, it varies by leader. So a Hawaiian king or chief who liked music, they might have more drumming and chanting. If they liked peace and quiet, the march would be pretty much silent.
Okay.
And if they didn't like to walk much, he would be carried by the warriors, which leads me to the question, how would you lead your march?
With the drum and noise
Oh.
and music.
You want people to know and hear you.
Yeah, I want people to know I'm coming through.
This is not going to surprise anybody, but I don't want anybody to know I'm coming.
You want
she
the
doesn't-
silence.
She doesn't want attention on her.
Yeah, so no warnings. Like if I come up over the hill and people look at me, dead.
Ooh.
She brings darkness.
I turn off the lights
Turn
in
off
every
the lights
room.
whenever she enters a room.
But she would like people to pee and poop themselves
Oh, okay.
in front of her.
Oh, no.
You
don't
see
need that.
people doing that because they're so scared.
No. You know, like if you were laying face down, do you know the stance you would have to get yourself into in order to poop yourself?
No way.
Also like poop on command.
I
It's like
have
an-
never thought about this.
Fun fact, it's the enema stance. Basically, knees to chest, but you're face down.
It's face down, ass up, is what she's saying.
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's the way.
That's where I was going.
That sounds terrible. No, thank you. What would you like?
You'd be frozen like that when they walk. And then you just shart
Yes.
and it's over.
You want what I want.
I want to be carried.
But you want like the drums and you want
Yeah.
the whole shebang.
But mostly I'd be lazy and be like, is it too much to ask? Can I please be carried? But I wouldn't care if people looked at me. I wouldn't kill them for like looking at me.
He'd be like, oh, thank you for noticing me.
Yeah.
You want to be friends?
Please don't pee yourself on my behalf.
Have
Honestly,
you heard
don't.
about my podcast?
If I saw anybody in the shart position as I walk by, I would never recover. Anyways, moving on from shart position. So
I learned something I really didn't need to know tonight.
And you're welcome.
certain body parts of the king or chief are considered sacred. So if you happen to look at them, you'd be killed instantly.
The body parts?
Usually you're
How
killed.
do you know which body parts, though?
She's going to tell
You have to
us.
guess, kind of, but I'll tell you in a second. But
Okay.
usually you're killed by lightning and flaming heat coming from the warrior's eyes. So it's like lasers.
It's like
They look at you
Zeus.
and they're like, zing, and kill you instantly. You just
Oh, man.
evaporate. You're gone.
That's terrible.
If the king or chief's eyes were not to be looked at, they would be in the front. So that's how you would know. Don't look
Okay.
at their eyes.
Don't
If
look
they're
at
in
their
the
eyes.
back, if their back wouldn't have been looked at, then they're at the back because then nobody behind them can see them.
Gotcha.
If no part of them was to be seen, they'd just blend in with the group. So you just didn't know. You just don't know which one's the king. You don't know which one to look at.
Basically, if you hear the drums, run inside your house.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yes.
If you're hearing the drums, they said it's too late. That it's pretty much over for you. Okay, so I just wanted to tell you a story.
Okay.
On the night of the night marchers, a man named Lopaka Kapanui, I really hope I said that okay. He was leading a tour, like a haunted tour group. I actually went to his website and he does these. He's like the main ghost expert in Hawaii. And he does a walking tour about the night marchers. And he was leading a group and he had them at the bottom of the hill and he had them close their eyes and point randomly in a direction where he told them, point in the direction where you think the night marchers are coming from. And a 6-year-old boy was in the group and he pointed to the perfect spot that they were known to walk down.
Light the path, right?
Right. Yes. And so his parents decided to go ahead and take a picture. And in this picture, you can see what looks like several floating orbs. Okay. Which it's outside, could be anything. And they kind of know that. But they also saw several figures that appeared to be wearing the feathered capes and helmets. And some even had spears. And it looked like it was mostly just from the waist up. So they passed this picture around on the phone that everybody's looking at it. And when the last person's looking at the picture, it deleted itself. So they have no proof still. At that time, a hot wind picked up over this mountain or this hill. I don't know what they call it there, but over the hill. And everyone there said it smelled like something had just died. So that sulfurous odor
Yeah.
they were describing. So everyone got completely panicked and ran in different directions. And when they finally reunited, the little boy tells the guide that the men in the feather capes were talking to him and asking him what the tour guide's name was because his ancestors were part of the group.
Oof.
That's creepy.
It is creepy. There are actually really several stories. So I didn't know anything about night marchers. So thank you to Rob. He gave this topic to me and I went ahead and looked it up. And there are so many stories. And the more you research it, the creepier it becomes. Because you kind of think about it like, oh yeah, that's a weird story. And then you start looking at it and there are so many different stories that people are telling and different pictures. And you can go on an investigation to hunt for night marchers. They really don't want you to wander off on your own to look for them.
But what if they come? Does the whole group take their clothes off?
Well, that's kind of what happened here. That everybody panicked and ran in different directions. So it's not really good if they do come. That's what she
Sounds
said.
like we need to go on an investigation to Hawaii.
Oh,
Let's take that.
sounds terrible.
I mean, it sounds awful, but I think we need to go there.
Okay, yeah, for science.
Yeah. I think there's several places we could go investigate in Hawaii. This is definitely one of them. And I'm good with that. So we can put it on our to-do list. Anyways, nothing's really creepier than a dead army
A night marcher with drums.
and conch shells.
Like that just, well, like the drums
Conch
reminds me
shells.
of, like in all those old war movies that I watched as a kid, like I was afraid of like the sound of drums for a while because they would announce they were coming with their drums and it was like dread.
Basically.
You were afraid of drums?
Not like drums, but like I don't remember what movies. I don't remember what movies it was that I watched. It was with my parents, so I probably shouldn't.
No, I know what you mean. I think it was like a common thing in
like,
movies and films that they
war
would...
movies. They'd be banging on their drums. They'd be coming in, and you're like, oh, crap.
Something bad's happening.
Yes.
You know what, though?
So I'd be,
I
like,
don't
afraid.
understand that. Wouldn't you want to sneak up on your opponent?
These are like the old movies, like revolutionary times is what I think of.
Yeah.
Before guerrilla warfare.
Like super sneaky.
When it was like super sneaky hiding in trenches and they'd be like,
Yeah, it was like planned
So-
battles.
They followed the rules. The rules
Yes.
of war. And now nobody follows the rules.
There's
Yeah.
no rules in war. That's the whole thing. All's fair in love and war.
Not anymore. Originally, you had to announce yourself with a drummer boy.
You
Yeah.
did. You did.
Well, these night marchers, they weren't really marching to war per se, but they were marching to let people know that we're coming and you can't look at the king.
Yeah. Or
You
else
can't
you're
look
going
at
to
him,
die.
or you will die.
I mean, it's a courtesy.
Yeah. They were just doing their job.
That is terrifying.
Yeah, it is.
But I'm willing to go to Hawaii to investigate this.
Me too. For
Boydston.
science.
Yeah, I just don't want to take my clothes off.
I will prevent you from doing that. Don't worry.
Thank you.
We'll make sure nobody gets in sharp position.
Boydston, what are you doing? Put your shirt back on.
Listen, there's no conch shells.
Gotta get in position.
And that's how we got kicked out of the tour group.
Listen, I read a guidebook and said I need to do this.
If I heard those drums,
I gotta get ready
pull my pants
for
down.
the banging and the blowing.
Banging and blowing. Oh, God.
Get
Oh
ready.
my gosh.
This is getting worse by the second.
Thanks so much for tuning in this week to Sarah's paranormal episode. You can always find us at thetipsyghost.com with our socials linked from there, or send us an email at thetipsyghost@gmail.com.
Please give us a 5-star rating and a great review anywhere you listen to podcasts. We really appreciate it, and it really does help.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. We will catch you next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye.